In the quiet village of Fairfax, Ohio, a case unfolded that left an entire community stunned. What began as a homicide investigation quickly turned into something even more disturbing when police revealed the suspect was not a stranger passing through town, not a long-time violent offender, but a 13-year-old neighbor. The victim was Sheila Denise Tenpenny, a 64-year-old woman who lived on Germania Street. On February 2, 2025, she was found dead inside her home, launching an investigation that would expose a case prosecutors later described as deeply chilling and premeditated. At first, officers responding to the scene were faced with what looked like a brutal and deeply personal attack. Denise had been discovered unresponsive in her own home by her brother, who called 911. Investigators soon determined that this was no natural death and no accident.
Okay. I
just
can't believe it.
I know. So again, we're definitely gonna treat this as most priority important as possible right now.
I sent her a message on her phone. I said, I'm outside. And I went up and put the air pump on the truck, and I walked around, and I opened the door. I started to knock on the door, like
Right.
that,
Right.
and the door opened.
Okay.
She didn't answer, so I pushed the door open.
Evidence at the scene pointed to violence, and authorities began searching for whoever had entered her home during the night. Early in the investigation, officials even warned the public that the killer may have been injured during the attack, suggesting that Denise had fought back. Denise Tenpenny was far more than just a name in a headline. Family members later spoke publicly about who she really was, describing her as a loved sister, aunt, and friend whose life was filled with ordinary hopes and routines.
If you ever talked to her, you knew her name?
She was very seclusive. I mean, she always took to herself, worked in her little garden alongside her house.
Yep.
So we are very cordial with her. I think that every time we walk by, she's super nice.
Yeah.
Very nice to the kids.
Okay. The only people I've ever seen over there were her brother, like ever.
Yeah.
Okay. And then anytime we've talked to her, it was always like about gardening, or she's always very super nice, like gardening or like the dogs. Her dog passed maybe a few months ago, and she was like really distraught.
They said she had plans for retirement, wanted to get a new puppy, and loved simple moments with the people around her. Her family was devastated not only by her death, but by the way the case risked becoming centered entirely on the suspect, while Denise herself faded into the background. They made it clear that they wanted people to remember the woman she was, not just the horror of what had happened to her. As investigators dug deeper, the case began closing in on someone shockingly close to home. On February 13, 2025, authorities announced that a 13-year-old juvenile had been arrested and charged in connection with Denise Tenpenny's murder. The suspect lived nearby, making the case even more unsettling for residents of Fairfax. For many people, the revelation that someone so young could be accused in such a violent crime was almost impossible to process. But according to investigators, the forensic evidence was powerful. Prosecutors later said the teen was linked to the crime scene through multiple pieces of evidence. Reports stated that his DNA was found under Denise's broken fingernails. His blood was recovered at the scene. His hair was found in her hands, and even his watch was reportedly left behind near her body. Those details painted a picture of a violent struggle inside the home, one in which Denise fought desperately against her attacker. That physical evidence would become one of the strongest pillars of the case against him. What made the case even more disturbing were the allegations of planning. According to prosecutors, this was not a random burst of violence. They said the teen had researched how to strangle someone and how to locate the perfect victim. Investigators also reportedly found disturbing written material and online messages connected to serial killers, violence, and murder fantasies. Authorities alleged that sometime between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., the teen entered Denise's home while she was asleep, attacked her in bed, and ultimately killed her. The horror of the case did not end with the killing itself. Court reporting later stated that after the murder, the suspect allegedly made disturbing online remarks, including one message that read, "This one was a fighter." Prosecutors also said he searched for ways to beat a police interrogation and later wrote, "I think I just got caught." Those details only intensified the sense that investigators were not dealing with a confused child acting in panic, but with someone they believed had thought through far more than anyone wanted to imagine. Police body camera footage later released in the case showed officers approaching the suspect's home and speaking with his mother.
You accusing them of murder?
In the footage, police explained that they wanted to speak with the family as part of the investigation. The suspect, his twin brother, and their mother were taken to the station for questioning. Additional reporting later described how one of the boys sounded confused in cruiser footage, asking why so many officers were there, as if he did not fully understand the gravity of what was unfolding around him. During questioning, the suspect reportedly denied really knowing Denise well and attempted to explain injuries on his body by claiming they came from his cat.
Okay. So you said you've never been in Denise's house, never been, okay. Do you know what DNA is? You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it.
Okay. So we're trying to figure out, and I want you to help me explain this, okay, why your blood would be in Denise's house. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Well, I'm not sure. Because, I don't know, like, how is it my blood? Like,
That's what we're trying to find out.
because I don't know why it would be in my house. I mean, in her house.
I don't think you're telling me all the truth.
What? But I'm not lying.
Well, I think you're about how you get hurt.
What?
I think you're lying about how you got hurt. That's
Why?
my opinion.
But why would I do that?
Well, if you were, and things got out of hand and you had to defend yourself, or you were attacked, you know, hence the scratches and the nose and the scratches on the arms, you know, obviously you were attacked in some way, you know, that would make sense to me.
My brother's like loves true crime or something. Very investigative.
Right, that's cool.
He like tried to search up the audio. I didn't hear it, or I guess they said that there was a 911 call, I guess.
Yeah.
And mom had said that maybe she had been, or that somebody said that it looked like she was, which in my mind that doesn't sound like self-defense if it was.
I don't believe there was a rape.
Oh, you don't?
I don't, no.
I kind of thought it was, if I'm being honest, but
No. But I guess my question to you is, could you have defended yourself? I mean, is that...
like I said before, anything's possible.
I understand that, but now we're talking in vague terms, you know? So I need specifics.
I don't know, I doubt that that's a possibility, that I would be defending myself, because I wouldn't be in that house in the first place. I just mean, I don't see how I would do that, and I don't see why I would do that. That's all I mean.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. Why you would do it.
But investigators said the evidence pointed elsewhere. Reports later stated that he had spent hours cleaning himself after the crime and then watched the emergency response from nearby. Piece by piece, the case prosecutors were building became harder to deny. By November 2025, the case reached a major turning point. The teen, by then 14 years old, pleaded guilty to aggravated murder, aggravated burglary, and strangulation in Denise Tenpenny's death. In exchange, several other charges were dismissed. The court ordered that he be committed to the Ohio Department of Youth Services until his 21st birthday, which is the maximum period Ohio juvenile law allows in that system. Reports said the sentence also included requirements such as schooling, therapy, and victim awareness programming. For Denise's family, though, no outcome could undo the loss.
I feel sorry for you. Sorry that you had a family that did not teach you right from wrong.
My sister didn't have children of her own, but she was like a second mother to her nieces and nephews. They adored her, and now they're growing up without her laughter, her guidance, her love. You didn't just take one life, you destroyed an entire family.
Their grief was not only about the violence of the crime, but about the empty place Denise left behind, the plans she had, the routines she loved, the people she laughed with. All of it was taken away in a single night. And that is what makes this case so haunting. It is not only the age of the accused or the disturbing allegations of planning, it is the fact that a woman who should have been safe in her own home lost everything there, allegedly at the hands of someone living only steps away. The Levi Carte case remains one of those stories that lingers long after the headlines fade. Because when people hear that a 13-year-old was accused of murdering a neighbor, the immediate reaction is shock. But the deeper horror comes from everything investigators said they found behind that accusation: the research, the forensic evidence, the alleged planning, and the idea that something so cold could already be forming at such a young age. And in the middle of all of it is Denise Tenpenny, a woman whose life mattered, whose absence still hurts, and whose story deserves to be remembered for more than the darkness that ended it.